Alright, here we go. Hey guys, how's it going? It is your boy, Manga Andrew, and I'm here to do my reaction to Dr. Stone, Manga Chapter 229. And yes, this is the chapter that we have been waiting an entire week for, to get the reveal of the information of what the Y-Man is to a larger extent. We know the Y-Man is the Medusa, spoilers for a Dr. Stone reaction video to the most recent chapter, but from what we're going to get in this chapter, hopefully, we're going to get an explanation for why the Y-Man exists, or how the Y-Man exists, or why did this all happen when it came to the Y-Man, aka the Medusas. We're most likely going to get that information in this chapter, so I don't think that there's any room to hesitate. We should start right now. And we are looking at it immediately as we have Y-Man searches for intelligent organisms to parasitize. The search method is simple. Electromagnetic waves are an inevitability for an advanced civilization, meaning if the waves emitted from a planet demonstrate any regularity. Okay. Oh yeah, we're getting the start of it as we get the moon and the Medusas dropping from the moon somehow, because that's how physics works. They're probably going to explain it, but as they drop down, they begin the petrification. Weirdly enough, it makes sense for how they were only able to petrify sparrows, but they did it apparently in small bursts so that people didn't notice them, but the sparrows did. So that's interesting. As we have Dr. Stone, Z equals 229, Y-Man. And we're just starting off with the Y-Man as we are back on the moon. We see Kawaku, Senku, as well as Stanley hearing the explanation from the Y-Man, as you have Senku's like talking about 3,700 years back, huh? This story does bring back memories. So why'd you turn the swallows to stone before humanity? What's that? A test run? As he's like, standard parasitism process it is. Okay, the advanced party chose an arbitrary species. Targeting was based on DNA and those fortunate organisms. Fortunate? Like they were lucky to be petrified? Yeah. As we have Gein's like, I believe it's implying that turning to stone and enjoying a permanent deathless existence is cause for celebration. That's my opinion. Ooh. As we have Gein, I think, or someone breaking out the petrification. I have no idea. Or that may be Senku. Yeah, that's probably Senku because of like the lines under his eyes. I don't know, but as we have the Medusa device explaining it, it's like the petrification wave, which triggers an elemental phase change, appears as light on the visible spectrum only to the chosen targets. Oh! Oh, that's okay. That's interesting. That's interesting because that's part of like the idea of like, wait 1 second, how are they able to turn all of the swallows into stone if like they emitted light? It only emits light based off the target. How did we not think of that? As we're getting the Y-Man explaining, is like the most intelligent species on the planet is the one that recognizes petrification garnet's element's life, and the same species that immediately starts discussing the matter via electromagnetic waves. Humanity, the optimal target for the main force to parasitize. Or, yeah, parasitize, I guess. Oh, that's interesting. So they use the sparrows as bait to find out which of these organisms actually does a lot more and will actually be of benefit to them. So as that happened, they were able to petrify everyone. That's interesting. And it's like the stone is so that it is easier to undo when more brain power is used and maximized. An external corrosion agent can speed it up the removal process. Okay. And those individuals would then not be able to resist the allure of eternal life. Okay. Instead, they would cultivate the parasitic Y-Man in perpetuity. Oh, so they are turning. So their idea is that they will turn the entire world to stone, but only those who are like the brain power and like the drive will be able to break out and would be driven by the ability to live forever. And then by them learning to live forever, then they'll be able to keep the Medusas going. Oh, that's so interesting. Oh, but then, oh no, I hate the fact that we're doing this. Oh no, we're seeing Byakuya and all of the, flashback to the moment that he died about 3,000 years later. Oh no, I hate that. Oh, that makes me sad that he's dead. As we're going back to Treasure Island, as it's like the people of Treasure Island produced electromagnetic waves with regularity by polishing ores, normally too minor to detect but unknown to them. Their hair accessories acted as dipole antenna, amplifying the waves. Oh, okay. That's I didn't know that that could be a thing. And it's like waves, revived individuals, or survivors never petrified. So, because of what happened, they sent the Medusas down to Earth to try and petrify them, I guess, but they may have failed. It's like to properly parasitize humanity, the humans needed to be taught how to activate the waves that would petrify their own kind. Y-Man communicates via radio waves, therefore, those dipole antennae that emitted the weaker signals could receive messages at the same frequency. Okay. What's that? I hear something. Voices of the gods? 1 meter, 1 second? And then boom, she gets petrified. Oh. Okay. Okay. And I think this is where like we get to see that dude's father, I forgot his name, like get petrified. Okay. Oh. Most likely, these beings have no concept of negotiation. They view eternal life as irresistible offer. This is looking dire, and this is coming from Geen as the devices are saying the devices began to have doubts. Oh, despite eternal life, the beings remain petrified, never dying, but taking no further action until Senku gets revived. And we're getting to see a little bit more into how this is all happening. Senku gets revived. Zeno and them get revived. They're building up their society. We see their society building up more and more as Senku is looking, as you have them thinking about they showed no inclination towards cultivating the devices. Far from being able to produce more of them, humanity could not so much as replace their batteries. Okay, perhaps humanity lacked the necessary intelligence. Were they incorrect species to parasitize? They emit only minor electromagnetic waves. Were they just inferior species? Oh! We're making GPS. It'll shoot out crazy strong radio waves coming from Senku. Oh, yes, this is happening. The Medusa devices, as they are losing like thought and ideas, they are questioning it as it's like they're capable of producing strong electromagnetic waves. Do they not? Do they not lack intelligence? And yet, why? Why do they not pursue eternal life? Why do they not yearn to be petrified? Why? Okay. Oh, that's where the why came from. It's not why are they alive, it's like why do they want to die in a sense. Okay, as we get the why from the why man just screaming why. And you have Senku at the end of the chapter saying, hey, I've been dying to meet ya. That day was the opening of humanity's negotiations with Y-Man. Oh my gosh. So, here's okay. So, a lot of this was actually just flashback, and I guess I'm going into review portion, flashback and recontextualization of things that have happened. A lot of what is recontextualized makes a lot of sense for like how the sparrows were able to be turned to stone without anyone knowing, and how these devices actually work. They are in a sense parasites, and how they thought that they will give people eternal life so that they would yearn to create a device like them, recreate them so that they can live eternally in stone, I guess. They just assume that, oh yeah, these living beings, they want to live forever, we'll turn them to stone and then they'll be happy, and not realizing that it's more than just being turned to stone. It's like seeking meaning and sure, growing the population and making everything better, but like we also do accept that we could potentially die, but their idea that if we were to have a concept of immortality, we would still try to better ourselves and not be afraid of death. So it's a mixed bag when it comes to the idea of eternal life and everlasting life and like living on forever, that there are different sides to it. Either people would just be content with it or people won't be content with it. And the Medusa devices are realizing that people just may not be content with just living forever if they're just doing nothing the entire time. So at the very least, this shows a distinction and a difference between the mindset of humanity and the mindset of these Medusa devices, and how they truly are parasitic because they are only one-track mind of trying to allow themselves to survive so that they can like multiply and replicate and feed off something else so that they can grow. So yeah, it makes sense that they are parasitic. We don't know exactly where they came from or if they were created by some other aliens, but my assumption is that they themselves are alien to a sense, and that whatever they are doing or however they were created may have been created by humanity, but then they gained sentience, and the fact that they need other species to build them is actually very similar to actually viruses, in a sense where like viruses can't reproduce on their own, but they feed off other living organisms so that they can reproduce. So yeah, it's very parasitic. Maybe someone created them by accident. Maybe they just came into this world by accident, by just the nature of the universe. We don't know that exactly, but we do know for a fact why they did the things that they did and how we actually came to this point. Ending at the end of the chapter with Senku recognizing the Y-Man. We get more concrete information about the fact that the Medusas rely on radio waves to detect intelligent life that could replicate them, and how their main goal isn't just to get bigger batteries, get more batteries, but literally create new Medusa devices. So there's actually a lot answered and a lot not answered in this chapter, but still, I overall enjoyed this chapter. The only weird part is about a Treasure Island and how their feathers act as antennas while they're polishing these orbs. I don't know if that's accurate. That probably is. A science consultant, someone in the science consultant said that this is possible, then it's most likely capable of doing it. We have electricity running through our bodies, so it makes sense that we could probably produce electromagnetic waves and I guess hear them with the antennas. So that's something interesting. Maybe we can test it out. I don't know. But overall, really enjoyed this chapter. A lot of stuff revealed. Still a lot more to come in the later chapters. So the reveal isn't stopping here. We're going to get more of it later on, and I can't wait to actually read that. And if you want to read it along with me, why don't you? You're watching this video. You're seeing me react. You apparently do like Dr.STONE, so why don't you subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you can keep up with my reactions? So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this chapter as well as I did, and hopefully I'll be able to catch you in my next video. Goodbye! That was weird.